before I begin, I want to first clear some things up. So my claim has to do with animal experimentation. I'll explain what that is later, but I know many of you probably love animals and have pets of your own, so I first clear up that those kinds of animals that we have at home are normally, like most of the time, not the kind of animals that are used in experimentation. And also, this doesn't mean I don't like animals, just that I realize that animal experimentation is very helpful to humans, like health-wise. And so, before I state my claim, like I said, there are a few definitions that I will need to clarify in advance. First term I will define is animal experimentation. And animal experimentation is a process by which researchers use an animal, or sometimes we use several animals, as test subjects to make scientific breakthroughs that can lead to cures for diseases. The next definition is an induced model, which is a term used in the research field for animals that have been physically altered to provide researchers the ability to make connections between human physical injuries and how that may affect human mentally. And the last definition is listicle article. Listicle article is an article that is organized and sometimes often categorized into list. Okay, with those terms clear up, I will now start explaining my claim. My claim is that animal experimentation is the most efficient approach in scientific research. And I will use 3 secondary claims to support my main claim. First secondary claim is that since animals have close anatomical similarities to humans, animals make great test subjects. And the next secondary claim is that animal research has been heavily regulated, therefore ensuring animals used for research purposes are protected from harm. The last but most important of all secondary claim that I'm going to explain is that animal experimentation can be used to find new cures and save the lives of many people that suffer from many illnesses. So like I previously said, my first claim, secondary claim, is that since animals have close anatomical similarities to humans, they make great test subjects. Animals, as we may all know, are greatly susceptible to similar illnesses and diseases that are often found in humans. And also, according to Understanding Animal Research, a nonprofit organization, we share 95% of our genes with a mouse, making them an effective model for the human body. And because both animals and humans can develop the same afflictions, Animal Research Info, an educational resource provided by Understanding Animal Research, believes that induced models help researchers understand what happens in the body following this type of damage. And this has been used in the development of new therapies. My next secondary claim is that animal research has been heavily regulated to protect animals from possible harm. The Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, IACUC, must approve of all proposals to use animals for research before any animals can be used as test subjects. Animal Testing ProCon, which is a nonprofit nonpartisan public charity, further explained that humane treatment is enforced by each facility's IACUC, and most major research institutions programs are voluntarily reviewed for humane practices by the Association for Assessment and Accreditation of Laboratory Animal Care International, also known as the AAA-LAC. And since 1996, the Federal Animal Welfare Act, AWA, has regulated animal experimentation. ProCon further asserts that the AWA also regulates by stipulating minimum housing standards for research animals, such as enclosure size, temperature, access to clean food and water, and many other stipulations. The AWA also requires regular inspections by veterinarians, or vets. The nonprofit organization further states that all institutions receiving funding from the U.S. Public Health Service (PHS) must comply with the PHS policy on humane care and use of laboratory animals. My last and most important secondary claim is that animal experimentation can be used to find new cures and therefore save the lives of many people that suffer from many illnesses. Pro-con included in the pro and cons list that California Biomedical Research Association states that nearly every medical breakthrough in the last 100 years has resulted directly from research using animals. Understanding animal research stated in their listicle article, 40 Reasons Why We Need Animals in Research, that thanks to animal research, primarily mice, cancer survival rates have continued to rise. To further support their claim, the organization further explained that herceptin, herceptin, a humanized mouse protein, has helped to increase the survival rate of those with breast cancer. It could not have been attained without animal research in mice. As I previously claimed, animal experimentation is more efficient in scientific research. My three claims were that animals are good test subjects, animal research protects animals from possible harm, and most importantly, animal experimentation has and can continue to be used to discover life-saving cures for humanity. I hope you'll all consider what I've said and you'll realize just how important animal research is and how further scientific discoveries that can lead to cures to some of the world's most devastating and serious illnesses and diseases, both mental and physical. Thank you.
All right, propositions clear, secondary points are previewed. Actually, they're written out like they are, in fact, secondary claims. I appreciate that. You've got 2 minutes of definitional material, though, that you could probably cut down to about 20 seconds. I think everybody's got a pretty good idea what animal experimentation is. Induced models, I think you probably do need a definition of. And I think you need to get to the argument a little bit sooner. I did think that you signposted the points when you got to them pretty well. The first point is okay. I do think that you need a little bit more information on the similarities and how they've worked in the past in giving us insights on this. The second point is all just details about the Animal Welfare Act and other regulations that exist without necessarily showing that they are efficient. You just tell us what the rules are. And I'm not exactly sure that that whole point is relevant to your issue about the efficiency or effectiveness of the animal research. It is kind of a preemptive argument. It's a response to potential reservation issues that people might have on this. And I think I might have saved that for the third point at best. And I tell you what, I would certainly spend a lot less time on it because it's your first and your third points that have the material in it that make your argument worthy. The third point has got a minimal example on it with the one mouse protein. I think you need a little bit more information on that to support your conclusion. On the presentation, you have a tendency to look down. There's a lot of reading. On this side of the room, when you look at the camera, you're not even going to see your face half the time. You know, it's just like you vanished. So you got to look up and be a little bit more engaged. All right, thank you. We got one more.